Hi, this is George and Lori, and welcome back to Inspiring Charlotte. Today we have a special guest, Tara Albrecht from Valdez Weavers. Welcome, Tara.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
We're glad to have you.
So a lot of the conversation today is going to be about fabrics. That's
Yay.
your business. So we want you, first of all, intro yourself. Let us know who you are and how you got into this business.
Okay. I'll go. Okay. So, interior design degree. I'm old. Let me start by that because I'm going to list all these things and you're going to be like,
we've
how
had
old
this
is she?
discussion. You
And
are
we already
not,
did
but
this.
okay.
Right. But thank you. So interior design degree from Western Michigan University. Great little college. And part of
I
our...
didn't know that. I lived in Michigan.
Where in Michigan?
I went to law school in Lansing. I went to Cooley Law School.
Really?
Yeah, I lived in Okemos, Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Born and raised in
Yeah.
Michigan, right outside Detroit, and went to school at Western Michigan. Then I lived in Grand Rapids for a long time.
Yeah, great area.
Michigan's
freezing
beautiful.
in the winter,
Yeah.
I
beautiful
know,
in the
but
summer.
Summer's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Love Michigan. So anyway, started at Western Michigan University, and we had to do 300 hours of field experience for our degree. So I worked for a really small, higher-end furniture store there called Welling, Ripley, and Labs. It was their three last names. I know,
Okay.
weird. But great little place.
Yeah.
And it just all started from there. And then I moved to Grand Rapids, and so I went to work for a really big store up there, 100,000 square foot store
Yeah.
called
Wow.
Klingman's. They're still
Oh,
in
I
business.
remember Klingman's.
Klingman's,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, huge. And I started there in their design studio. You guys can cut this because this is going to get long. Started there in their design studio, and then I became their outdoor furniture and accessory buyer, and then I became their upholstery buyer, and then I went to work for Baker Furniture.
Yeah.
Baker
Yep.
still had
Everybody knows
offices
Baker.
in Grand Rapids, so that was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
I was manager of their upholstery brands and had amazing opportunity to work with like Barbara Berry and Thomas Pheasant
Yeah.
and Bill Sofield, and they are just
The heyday.
amazing. I mean, it was great. I went inside at Taylor King 10 years ago, and I was their design director there, which was awesome.
Yeah,
that
great
is-
company
sounds like
too.
an awesome job.
Best job
sounds like you've worked for
ever.
the worst companies in
Yeah,
the
I
industry.
know. Aren't they all great? And they're all great
How it's like
people.
the cherry pick. Did you cherry pick all those groups? Because
No,
they're
and
all
it-
amazing.
And people, and
Yeah.
like there was no plan. Like people like have a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year plan. No
Yeah.
plan. It all just worked
Just
out.
matriculated the way it
Yeah.
did.
And Taylor King, they're
I
here in
love-
Taylorsville,
yeah.
North Carolina,
Yeah.
and they are such an amazing group of people, and that was wonderful. So I did all the pretty stuff.
Yeah.
I picked fabrics, I set up the showroom, product development, opinions here and there, and it was wonderful.
You do so many fabrics for so many manufacturers.
Oh, my
and
goodness,
Your
yeah.
own lines and your like the inside out stuff is amazing.
Amazing.
The best. I mean, we've used Sombrella and all these wonderful indoor outdoor companies for years, but the inside out stuff is insane because it
the
doesn't
best of
look
the
and feel like
best.
It
outdoor
doesn't.
Door
fabric.
furniture.
And we get
Not at
so
all.
many requests from customers coming in. They know of the InsideOut brand.
Yeah.
They know that we sell we have manufacturers on our belt
Yeah.
that sell it. So it's great to have partner with the people who make InsideOut. So.
I feel like the majority of people aren't using inside-out fabrics outside. The vast majority
No,
are
it's
using them.
inside.
I mean,
I'd say
absolutely,
95% of the
at
inside out
least.
fabrics that I use go on interior stuff. I I do a lot of outdoor too, but you just do basics outdoor. You aren't
Right.
going to do any of the crazy stuff like
Right.
like this little grate.
Right. Fun
We
animal.
love this little front
Yeah.
animal
Yeah.
print.
Yeah.
That's almost in a chenille, which doesn't even feel like an outdoor.
Not at
And when I tell people your indoor outdoor velvets are outdoor, they're like, "What do you mean outdoor?" I'm like, "You can put velvet by your pool."
I know.
Yeah.
But it's fade resistant, pill resistant, stain resistant. I mean, it's insane.
It's great.
It's
It's great. Valdez is amazing. A little info there, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
So Valdez Weavers, you guys know they're here in Valdez, North Carolina, which is right next door to Hickory. We've been in business for 110 years.
Yes.
And we're the third largest mill in the world.
Yeah.
The largest in the Americas for sure.
Yeah.
But it's
Well, it's great to know because a lot of people still think that the furniture industry and fabrics have all left.
right.
But they're still here.
No,
We just
and-
I don't think we tout ourselves enough. Like all the
Yeah.
companies that we carry that are still made in North Carolina. Your fabrics are made in North Carolina. Fabrics, there are still people in the industry in the US.
And this company, you guys, it's amazing. And I kind of am still speaking like an outsider because I've only been there since February. I've known them for
Yeah.
years. But to be a part of it,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, they're so smart. And they know their stuff and they're big. It's
Yeah.
an employee-owned company now.
that's incredible.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's 800 employees. We run our mill 3 8-hour shifts Monday through Friday.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So think of all those people.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Well, then
So-
you not only do that,
awesome.
but you also do private label stuff for
Yes.
the big names in the fabric industry. That
Tebow and all the jobbers.
Yeah.
And then we have a whole contract division.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously residential upholstery. That's
Yeah.
the main focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so big.
Yeah, but what you've done for us, especially again, I hate to keep saying inside out,
Inside
out, but it's
Out.
just amazing that.
Yeah.
And when I tell people, we get because everybody's like, "Oh, I love these new looks with the light fabrics and the whites and creams," but I have children, so I can't use it. And it's I love to tell them, "Oh, yeah, you can." And here's what you need to use: Inside Out. And they're like, "What about this brand? What about that?" I'm like, Inside Out. It's to some extent bleach cleanable, soap and water cleanable. Like it's amazing.
And our
It's-
last intro at Interwoven, last one, oh my goodness, they came out with some great things, like some great stripes and some great patterns. And
Yeah.
looks so good.
Well, I think that's where it's going to go next. I mean, you started with amazing, just basic cloths,
Plains.
linen
Right.
looks, velvets, chenilles. Like there were some really wonderful basics. But now you're coming out with the prints and the stripes and the ditzy fabrics and the fun things that make
Our design department.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, your booth
it's
at Market
huge.
every
Yeah.
year
It's-
in the steel building, like
Yeah.
to go in there and see all the things, and you're like, this is outdoor, or this can go outside, is amazing.
And we just did a new redo of our design section at our factory, at our mill. And the designers we have, you guys, they're talent
Yeah.
and their
Yeah.
inspiration. I mean, they're amazing. And,
Yeah.
coming here this morning, I'm like, hey, I'm going on this podcast. Give me some good stuff to take.
Yeah.
That's fun. And she's like, oh, yeah, sure. And just their offices.
Yeah.
If you guys came and just walked in their offices and saw what's hanging on their walls,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we
Be in
in the
awe.
industry,
Yeah.
we crave it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's fun. That's just part of my favorite thing to go at Market. And I remember you at Taylor King, like when we go and our rep, Matt Pitts, who we worked with forever, who's now with Hancock and Moore, another amazing
Yes.
company. But
Chris
Matt,
Rogers is
I
your
think
new
Matt
rep,
introduced,
and
yeah,
he's
I love
awesome.
amazing. But I remember meeting you, you may not remember, years ago with Matt, because he's like, show George the new fabrics. And you were just like whipping them out. And I was like, these are amazing. Like, it's just, but that says to your talent, because you got to pick them all.
Love it. No,
Yeah.
we do what we love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you love it, it's not work. It's fun.
Not.
It's fun.
It's not.
That's
I
what
mean, you
makes-
can still be tired, but
Yeah, you get yeah. It can be. This can be mentally taxing. It's kind of people think, oh, you're just picking furniture. It's not a big deal. Oh, trust me, it's a lot.
it's a big
It's a
deal,
lot.
but it's
so,
what we do.
So tell us about like material, the inside out stuff from Valdez. Like what the basics.
Okay, so can I go back into like a whole performance fabric
Sure,
conversation?
of
let's
Is
talk
that
about
okay?
performance, because we get a lot of requests from customers about performance fabrics, and they want to know how it works, how it cleans, how durable is it
Yeah.
really. So
So-
touch on that.
And I can ramble, so you guys,
Oh.
please interrupt. So I think that it's important to have some background on performance fabric because there has been a big change in them. And we talked
Yeah.
about this at our meeting
Yeah.
down in Charlotte. But it's performance fabrics back in, let's see, what year? Hold on. Where are we now? We're 2025 right now. So it would have been in 2010,
Yeah.
right? 2010. Let's go there. Is that right? Yeah, 2010. Maybe even a little bit earlier. Performance fabrics were just kind of hitting the scene.
Yeah.
And they were ugly. They
Oh.
were
Yeah.
like scratchy and
those,
ugly.
those fakey velvets. What were they? What were they called?
Like the Herculani things.
Yeah,
or
and they
what?
were like they were just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it
mean,
was just,
they were just, ugh. And so, but they were great.
Yeah,
Now, the
cleanable.
problem was at that time, can I go back even farther?
Sure.
Scotch Guard?
Oh,
Okay.
I remember Scotch Guard.
People
talk
still think
People
Scotch
still
Guard-
know
Oh, they
Scotch
still know
Guard.
the name. They
They
did a
still-
great job of, and you can still buy it in the can and spray
But
it
it's
on
not
stuff,
the
but it's
same.
not the
Not
same.
the same.
So the original Scotch Guard, and I'm going to sound like I know what I'm talking about chemically, but I don't. I just
Yeah.
know the right words. So Scotch Guard had what they said, it had a C8 carbon chain. And that C8 carbon chain was awesome
Yeah.
in the sense of nothing would stick to this
Yep.
fabric.
Yeah.
You could dump spaghetti on it. You could dump chocolate, wine.
roll
it
off.
didn't matter. The big problem with C8 is it's a forever chemical.
Yeah.
And even more so than the forever chemicals that we're talking about
Yeah.
nowadays. It's like once it existed in this world, it was never going away. It was never deteriorating.
Well, it's something you sat on and touched every day too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and even that, okay, so C8 is banned in the entire world. Even
Yeah.
like the scary countries that you think
Yeah.
that don't know about this,
Yeah.
they don't even make it. So then in 2008-9, when performance fabrics were coming out, they had a C6 coating on it.
Yeah.
And so we were like, oh, great. Okay. And so it was wonderful. And then just like anything in our wonderful world,
Yeah.
they were progressing. And so you were getting like some softer finishes because it all had to do with the dry time.
Yeah.
Because it is a bath that it goes into and then it goes into
Yeah.
a heater. And if it was cooked too high or cooked too long, then the fabrics got a little crispy.
Yeah.
But the furniture industry, we worked through all of that. And so we had all these great fabrics. Okay. So C6, it was wonderful. Now, about 3 years ago, Maine, I believe, was the first one, then followed by California.
Yeah.
Knocked on the door saying, sorry, C6 is still a
Yeah.
forever chemical. And so 3 years ago in our industry, C6 no longer exists in the
Yeah.
United States. I can't speak about the other countries, but I'm pretty sure. So nowhere can you get a C6 coated performance
Yeah.
fabric in our industry anymore. So it's now all a C0.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind that the performance fabric that you would have bought 5 years ago is not as stain resistant as a performance fabric you're buying today. And I
Yeah.
don't mean to be negative. I don't
No.
mean, I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is
Well,
an
it's not. It's
education.
the, and that's
It's reality.
It is.
And it's all about managing expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's something that people ask for now. They you don't think about it. And when we first started getting all these performance fabrics, I guess they were the C6 5 or 6 years ago or 4 or 5 years
Exactly.
ago.
Yeah. Yeah, 10 years ago. They were
people
awesome.
and people were saying, does this off gas? Is this a forever?
Right.
People asked.
And
And,
they-
we
Yeah, they
didn't
do.
really have an answer
We didn't
because
know.
we didn't really know.
Yeah.
We didn't
We
know.
just knew they cleaned really well and they looked pretty. But it's not, now
Right.
I really, and technically they were Green Guard certified to an extent, but not like they are today. I don't think.
And
Yeah.
the contract world, they were way ahead
Yeah.
of all of this, more environmentally conscious than
Yeah.
the residential world was. Now the residential world they're not to the same level that the contract world is, but they're definitely catching up. And so now we have these performance fabrics. And so I guess with talking about inside out specifically,
Yeah.
I think is the question that I'm finally getting around to answer.
Oh, no.
So
Well, you have to know the history. You can't,
Yeah,
right.
You just can't say, "Oh, guess what? We have this."
I know.
It had to develop from somewhere.
And I guess whenever I'm talking performance fabric, I always just want to have like this big neon light with a
Yeah.
big asterisk saying, there's no such thing as a life-proof fabric
Yeah.
or leather
Correct.
or vinyl.
It's not indestructible.
It's not indestructible.
It can't be.
We
There's
need-
nothing.
You can't. And
Like,
so,
do you want to sit on bricks? Okay, like,
Right.
like
So-
I don't know what people want anymore. It's because it's kind of crazy. They're like, oh, my dogs are on it, my cows are on it, what? I'm like, you just want to go. Like, this is not reality.
if anyone tells you that a fabric is just fine for dogs and cats,
yeah.
I don't want to say they're lying because maybe they don't know what they don't know. There's no such thing.
Nothing's perfect.
There's no such thing. So, but that being said, there are better choices for
Correct.
people. And that's what's so important, to work with somebody
Yes.
that has the knowledge like you guys do.
Yeah.
That, you ask the questions like, how are you living? What
Yeah.
are you doing?
Right.
Are we eating on this? Let's talk about
You got to
pets.
qualify.
Yeah.
You have to qualify and you've got to manage expectations. And,
But you have to remember too, we're on the retail side of it. So you tell them all these things.
I know.
And the first question back is, you told me this wasn't,
No.
You heard it's cleanable, but you didn't listen to the whole process.
And
So
I think people
it's-
think like it's not going to get dirty. It's going to get
gonna get dirty.
So when we talk about a performance fabric like Inside Out, you're going to have your best chance
Yeah.
for it to come clean as
Yes.
opposed to something that's made. And performance, okay, I guess this is our organic conversation. Our performance can come from, as you guys know, two different ways. It can come from fiber, like what is the fabric
Yep.
made of? And then also, did it get a C0 bath?
Yeah.
Or it could have both.
Yeah.
And so that's what Inside Out is. Inside Out, you're getting your livability, let's say livability, from not only the fiber content, but also the C0 bath, which is wonderful. And again, the hand, and this all goes back to our amazing designers, because it's not just like designing the patterns, it's like the yarns. Like we create our own yarns and we dye our own yarns and all of that, which is amazing. Okay, I feel like I'm getting way too
No. That's what people need to know, how it's created, where it comes from,
made.
like what it is, how you treat it. Like,
how durable it is.
Exactly.
Oh gosh. Okay, can we talk about this? It's going to blow your mind. I know it's going to blow your mind. Okay, because it blew my mind yesterday. Getting ready for this, I'm like, Patrick, read my questions. Make sure like I'm not going to say the wrong thing. Known to happen. And he blew my mind on double rubs.
Yeah.
So Valdez weavers, and we'll have, okay, what's our double rubs on this? Okay. Our double rub count is 51,000 double rubs. So let's, for those listeners out there, what does a double rub mean?
Trying to explain it is kind of difficult sometimes.
I don't know if you can see my hand, but I guess you can't if you're just listening. But if you imagine a piece of fabric put underneath a machine that kind of looks like a sewing machine, and like a foot, but not like a human foot. Think of like a pedal foot on like a sewing machine. Okay. And it goes back and forth. Doom, 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 doom. And each time is a single double rub. And so they run this machine to see how many double rubs does it take for your fiber to break. And so on this one, 51,000. Okay. No one is going to hit 51,000 double rubs on their sofa in their lifetime. No. And if it does, then you're a hoarder and you need to go shopping.
You're sitting on your sofa too long.
At what point with the double rubs is the one considered a commercial grade?
And that's the other
thing. And one
thing.
more residential, because people even, when you tell them 20,000, and I'm like, trust me, your rear end will not do 20,000 rubs.
Double rubs.
I know.
I think they think every time they kind of sit down that they're like trying to factor it in their head, and I'm like, you're never going to reach that.
So it's this great talk to point.
That's something people need to know. Like they flip out over that. Well, what's more durable? And like, my other favorite one is when they assume with the durability. Oh, well, that must be a super expensive fabric because it's. No. And I'm like, no, I look at people all the time in retail, and I'm like, well, silk is more expensive than polyester,
right?
But
doesn't make the polyester will outlast the silk 2 to 1.
And let's talk about a print. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So here's my question for you guys.
Yeah.
Because this was on my list of questions. Like what fibers or what fiber content do you feel good about in fabrics, and what, if any, do you stay away from?
Me, I love silks. I love cotton prints. I love, but you have to be careful where they're placed. Because I tell people like, oh, I want a cotton sofa. And I'm like, well, remember cotton's like a cotton t-shirt or a cotton shirt. Once you spill on it, it'll last forever, but it's stained. It's going to absorb. I tend to want to go more polyester. I hate to say it.
Okay, no, that's good.
I'm leaning towards, because I know from my own experience with my own furniture,
or our own horror stories that we hear. Yeah. I mean, we've been in the industry. We're going to have that wacky story that happened to your client.
And I tell people, if you want something if you want to put in a room where you're like, you tell me you have dogs. Yeah. You tell me you have a cat. You tell me you have 2 3-year-old, twin 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
You've got
a lot of light.
You've got and I'm like, and you sometimes
messy
your family
friends.
Eats in the trust
messy
me.
husband.
Yeah. Why do you think
Messy husband.
my messy friends? Why do you think I have arm covers on my sofa, and they make fun of me? They tell me I'm an old lady, and I'm like, well, you slobs will spill red wine all over my white sofa. That's polyester.
I wouldn't serve them red wine.
Well, I do, unfortunately.
Outside in the garage.
Go stand on the balcony.
Yeah.
But it's I tell people all the time, if you want to, if you want to be realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this, if you want to live on it and you want it to be comfortable, don't tell me you want a linen sofa. Don't tell me you want a cotton sofa. They're wonderful fabrics, but that's not realistic, everyday, livable fabric. Unless it's coated
or not. Okay, I got to tell you this story. Okay. So again, we all have these stories. So my sister Jill, when she and her husband, they had they were living up in Michigan. They have 2 kids at this time. Well, they still have 2 kids, but they were little kids. So Lottie had to be like 8. Jake was 4, and she bought, and they didn't have a lot of money because, they're just starting out and whatever. But she bought 2, who was it at the time? Who did Miles Talbot?
Yeah.
Miles Talbot. Remember Miles
Yep.
Talbot? Totally affordable
Yep.
upholstery. And she fell in love with these two sofas. They were a cotton print,
Wow.
100% cotton print, red background with like floral on it.
that would hide a lot.
Not Queensland red. Not
Yeah,
the
but
one
it would
that we
hide
all
a lot.
and it had a multi-pillow back, and it would hide a lot.
Yeah.
And it did. So she had these two sofas, and this was
Cotton lasts forever.
and they looked great.
She's the
No
exception
holes.
to the rule.
I know.
Yeah,
But okay,
that's
so
an
I
exception.
have a cotton linen. I have two chairs in my living room right now. Cotton linen, Schumacher print, and it's starting to fade. So I have to close my drapes
Yeah.
when I'm not at home. And why does that
Yeah.
bother me? I'm not at home. I should be okay with it. But I'm like, no, my view. But
Yeah.
they're great. So is it going to be threadbare? No.
No.
It has pattern on it, so it's hiding things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's what we love. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't give up on it.
No. Well, and I tell customers
Yeah.
too, they'll come in and specifically ask for performance. But I do tell them, if you don't find something in the pile of performance,
Yeah.
go 100% polyester.
Yeah.
Because the fibers are going to be as durable. Yeah, it doesn't have that backing of being a performance fabric, but
It's okay.
It's still a strong
And how do you
fabric.
feel about olefin, and how do you feel about acrylic?
Yeah.
I'm not as big a fan of olefin and acrylic.
What if it's a blend
Yeah.
with a poly?
They're
is-
better.
they're better
Because
with
I
the
find that some
blend.
of the and maybe that's a stigma from me growing up with the olefin and acrylic.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
not the same animal
But
that it used
it's
to be.
not.
No.
Everything has advanced.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even when yarns are being created now, and how they're woven, the web, and this
Yeah.
is what our fabric designers do. Oh my gosh, it's so intense. Like, what's the weft? What's the warp?
Yeah.
And the different fills that they use, the different cores of the yarns.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So I love a blend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also, the one thing I do in my brain, like what I would always stay away from, is an inexpensive linen blend.
Yes.
If you see like it's a lower price fabric, but you really like you're excited because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this is only a grade, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a linen.
But if it has linen and other fibers in it, to the price point of linen, that's a whole nother conversation. But the less expensive linen is the shorter fibers. Those shorter fibers are going to shed
Yep.
quicker.
Yeah.
And when you have it mixed with stronger fibers, those stronger fibers are going to grab on to those little linen
Yeah, and
fibers,
create the
and then
pills.
you're going to pill.
Yeah.
And so I that's my
Well, I
one
know the
that I'm
pilling
going to
was
stay
a
away
monster. It's funny because that you said you brought up pilling. Like I know from experience, because I've been in the business 25 years, how when polyester started to really become a thing, like it's always been there, but it became in the performance story, and everybody would say, "Oh, I've had performance polyester, and it always pilled." And I'm like, and it actually Matt Pitts kind of explained because I
Right.
had a Taylor King fabric that did that, and I explained to people, it's the way these things are woven together, and they're so tight to help water resistance, and that occasionally the little fibers will break, and it's not the fabric; it's picking up all the
from.
other
Right? People
stuff.
think that pilling
Yeah.
is a flaw or a defect.
it's just part of the.
And let's say this, and people, oh gosh, whomever's listening, they're going to be like, what?
Yeah.
But my analogy on this is if you buy a wool rug, okay, and the first
gonna
time you're white,
shed,
it's going to shed.
Yeah.
And the first time you vacuum it, it's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like I can make it like a little
Make
another rug out of this.
another rug
Yeah.
out of
Trust
it.
me.
And so it's just the natural fibers shedding itself. Same thing with fabrics. Now, some people are going to say, well, if I spent that much money and you're telling me I've got to take a sweater shaver to my sofa. If you do, and here's the other thing. A fabric could pill in your house, but not in mine
Yeah.
and not in yours. Because what fibers are you wearing? What blanket do
Yeah.
you have on your sofa?
What's it catching?
There's so many environmental
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And so if you do have to sweater shave your sofa, you're only going to have to do it once or twice. And it's not a defect. And
Yeah.
no one's lying to you. No,
No.
one's trying to pull something over on you.
Yeah.
And okay, can we talk about care and maintenance?
Well, no, I was
Since
gonna
we're
say,
talking
what
about
do you-
that.
Well, actually,
Sweater
let's
shavers
take-
exist for a reason.
Oh, take a break.
Sweater shavers exist because
Exist for a
things pill
reason.
up.
Yeah.
So it's a
Right.
shaver, period.
Absolutely.
I use mine on myself all the time.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll
Good.
be back, and we'll talk a lot more about
Da, 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 da.
fabrics.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Well, welcome back. We're here with Tara Albrecht from Valdez Weavers, talking all about fabrics. So next kind of topic, give us some of the best care and maintenance for these fabrics, for performance fabrics.
Okay. And actually, maybe even all fabrics.
Yeah, all fabrics.
I would say the number one thing, and again, I think all the people listening to this are going to be like, what?
Yeah.
You need to vacuum your upholstery.
Oh.
And they don't
fluff your cushions, and
I
they don't do
know.
that either.
I know.
Settles.
All the dust and dirt that settles on your
floors,
your
your
cocktail
tables.
table,
Yeah.
your end tables, it's on
Yep.
your sofa. And
Yeah.
I don't
Exactly.
think anybody vacuums their sofas.
No.
And so you got to do it.
Yeah.
So, okay. So the dander, the oils, the
Yep.
lotions from our skins, it all like eventually like sits
Yeah.
down to the base of the fabric.
Yeah.
And you've got to vacuum.
Yeah.
That's your
Yeah.
number one thing.
No
so how
question.
often? Depends on how often you're on your sofa. So please do it.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned rotating your cushions.
gotta fluff your cushions.
You have to.
People
You
don't-
have to.
I say that with every customer, especially
know-
if they're doing loose cushions. You
But do you know how
need to
many
rotate
customers
them.
I go to a house or a delivery or
it
something
looks
and look
terrible.
at their sofa that we got like 6 months ago and it looks like mush and I'm like, are you rotating your cushions?
not.
No.
And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, we talked about this.
I know.
You need to rotate them so they wear evenly.
Absolutely.
Like it's just me on my sofa and I sit in the same spot every day. So I know after 2 or 3 weeks, it's time to rotate every single cushion on that sofa.
Always.
And I vacuum it when I rotate it. That way I know that I'm at least once every 2-3 weeks, I'm vacuuming my sofa.
Wonderful. Okay.
Even underneath, when I lift the cushions
Yes.
up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you
on the
got to
decking,
flip, you
you
got to
have
beat
to
it up.
vacuum.
Think
that
of
too.
because you vacuum and you think, oh look, there's that potato. Those are the potato chips I had 2 weeks ago. How did that get in there? There's a
You don't even
kernel
know
of
how it gets in
popcorn.
there.
You don't even think about it, and it's there. And then then people want to go, well, I understand how it got stained underneath the cushion. Well, the potato chips you're eating got underneath the cushion, and you never bothered to rotate it and look. So
You don't even know it went down there.
No.
Yeah.
And popcorn, please.
Yeah.
So, if people are like rotating cushions, what are you talking about and how do you do it? On the Taylor King website under videos, care and
Yeah.
maintenance videos, there's a great video on there if anybody wants to watch that. So Taylor, TaylorKing.com. Sorry, little plug for Taylor King.
Yeah, no.
And they're so great. And so then, okay, so you have to vacuum. Okay, let's
Yeah.
talk about pets.
Yeah.
I have a black and tan coonhound, Daisy.
Yep.
I love her. She's a snuggle bug. Even though I'm in the industry, I am going to have my dog on my bed and
Yeah.
on my sofa. And
Same,
so what do I
same.
do? I have this cute little quilt. It's just plain, $100 from Target.
Yeah.
And I bought 3 of them. And I have it on there, and that's where Daisy lays.
Yep.
And then it's on there for a week or so. I take it off,
Yeah.
throw it in the wash, put a new one on, and that's how it's doing it. Now, specifically our pets, they have different chemical balances
Yes.
that we do. And even think of like the flea and tick medicine that
Yeah.
they use. That affects their dander, their skin, everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, they go outside, too.
And right. And the oils of the dirt. It's
yeah, they're
just,
not
and you
like
can
us.
wipe
We
their-
can't take their skin and shoes off
No.
and put
I
it
know.
somewhere else. Even though you wipe them down, they
That's
still
the thing.
have.
You can wipe their feet all day long, but they're still going to track in.
and they're
Yeah.
still licking their feet.
Yeah.
And yeah. So you've got to put something
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we've got to vacuum our sofa. We've got to rotate our cushions.
Yeah.
We're going to put something down where our pets are. So let's say you come home and you're like, what's that on there? And you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And maybe you have a guess, but you're not really sure. The first thing I would do is I would take a lint roller and I'd peel one of those sticky things off and I would place it on it and I would push hard and then pull it off. Okay,
Yeah.
we're not
Yep.
rubbing, we're doing anything like just
Right.
to see like what are we dealing
Yeah.
with here?
Yeah.
A lot of times it's going to take care of it. Unless we know like it's told like that's like if it's a crunchy thing.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
something
dry-
something
something's
wet
dried
that's
on.
dried onto
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do that. And then if that doesn't do it all, okay, then let me pull out the vacuum cleaner. I'm going to take hose only
Yeah.
with no friction and I'm just going to put that right over there and I'm going to
Yeah.
suction.
Yeah.
Okay. So then if we know it's a liquid stain, I'm still going to do those things just because I want to. And then the Tide pen is
Yeah.
like the little secret, or if we know it's wine, that wine out does
Wine
Yeah.
out.
work.
Or even I've heard white wine gets red wine out too.
I've never done
it's
it.
One
Have
thing
you
that
done
you
it?
Have you
no,
tried it? Yeah,
you
I've heard
want to
this-
test
Yeesh,
that
I
on
know,
like
I know,
just a
it's so
piece of
scary.
cloth.
Well,
or
and I
something.
think a distinguishing factor here
Yeah.
too is the solvent cleanable fabrics versus water
Okay,
treatable
let's talk about that.
Because there's two. I mean, it's because and I don't know if anybody's ever bought furniture, but you look at your fabric swatch when you're looking at your samples, and it'll have a little S or a WS or a
Nobody's gonna
W.
remember.
I know, but I think
Test
it's our
something.
job.
I tell them to reach
in the
back out to
industry,
me and let me
like
know.
tell
Right,
them what it's made
absolutely.
out of and
And
how to
even-
clean it.
On the back of your cushion or
Yeah.
the bottom of your cushion, if
Yeah.
they didn't send you a little sample
Yeah.
or you don't have a sample to play with or an arm cover or
Yeah.
something like that, try and recreate the stain
Yeah.
and you can test there.
Yeah.
But okay, so you're totally right. If it's a performance fabric, okay, great. We can use the
Yeah.
Tide pen and that's easy. And each, okay, let's say it's a major thing. Like
Yeah.
it is a bottle of red wine
Yeah.
or it is like the queso dip
Yeah.
or it is something like that. The first thing I would do is I would call your whomever you bought it
sales
from.
rep and ask
Yeah,
Exactly.
what
and
is
say,
it?
tell me, like Inside Out and Ease and Sustain, which are Valdez Weaver's performance fabrics. We have websites for all of that. So
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
just like go to type in our wonderful internet, type in Inside Out, and it'll take you to a video. It will show you how to clean
Yeah.
it. But here's the thing, like you've got to do it multiple times.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like, put my little
Well,
dabble
that's what I
and
tell
then it's
everybody
clean.
too, and I'm like, don't. No, but the last time I tried to clean left the ring. Well, you can't soak it with water.
No.
Like you need to be kind of you be a little liberal, but don't pour. Like I mean, I've been guilty of the same thing. I've soaked a couple times to where it got a little ring, and then you have to kind of be a little more judicious with the blotting and the
Yes.
like. Try not to soak.
Yeah.
Right. And we just have to be smart with everything. And there's so many different situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so your friends that are going to spill red wine, I think you need to give them a sippy cup.
Yeah, oh, trust me, I got rid of the stem glasses and went to the stemless because like, okay, you people are slobs.
Yeah.
Like I love my friends, and I know you're going
Or
to hear
that
this.
dog
and I
blanket.
love you all
Put
to
the
death,
dog blanket
but-
out when they're over.
Oh.
We usually take it off when
That's what,
people
like,
are coming
I
I don't know
over.
if the stem or the stemless after a few
I don't
drinks.
know. I
They're
don't
still
know.
going to be
I mean,
clumsy.
it's just
So we're just
Yeah.
going to switch to vodka and tequila. Then I don't have to worry about anything.
Absolutely.
the
Seriously.
white liquors.
Yeah, just clear.
Clear.
Oh, going back to maintenance, I guess we're still there. The one thing I do want to say is sometimes if we are eating and drinking on our furniture and we've picked the right fabric, to allow that, underneath your seat cushion, keep a cotton towel.
Yeah.
Like a cotton dish towel.
That's very
because
smart.
sometimes just the time it takes for you to like run to the kitchen and be like, what am I going to use?
Yeah.
You have that. You can pull that out and dab something up.
Well,
real
that's
quick.
what I tell people first.
That's
Never, ever, with the first thing you do, don't scrub it.
Don't
Oh,
scrub it.
never.
Yeah,
No scrubbing.
scrubbing.
No
Blot it.
scrubbing. No
Well,
scrubbing.
Because it
Should I
only just
scrub it?
embeds
And
it in the
Yeah,
fiber.
and I said, when
Yeah.
you get to the cleaning process and you're doing like, what is there something you recommend or a cleaner you've used with a solvent cleaner that you like?
Yes, and you're going to ask me the name, and I'm not going to remember it.
That's okay.
Is it Dryel? Is it Dryel?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dryel. Dryel.
Yeah.
And it's amazing in all these sales meetings I do around the country for this collection, this
Yeah.
autograph collection we came out with. There's always somebody in the back of the
Yeah.
room that's like, I use this,
Yeah.
use this. And I'm like, really? I've never tried it.
Yeah. Well,
They're-
Folex. I know that's
Folex,
the one.
I
Folex,
love for
Folex
water-based
is-
cleaning.
Folex
Yeah.
is great.
My new one, and I think you told me about it, and maybe somebody else that I work with, was to use that the Dawn the spray. What's that?
the power wash.
The power wash you use
Shocked
with
me.
your laundry. Yeah.
I used it on a grease stain on my shirt, and it took it out of my shirt.
You were talking about this
we
when I
talked
was
about
down there.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
it was a thing. And the other one I did find at the grocery store. Harris Teeter's our local grocery store. That's where I
Yeah.
found it. In their like cleaning product aisle, you can buy little bottles of
The
dry.
Carvana.
Well, I bought dry cleaning fluid. You can
Yeah.
buy a little bottle of dry,
Right.
like for like
so that
solvent
would be the
cleaning.
solvent cleaning. Yeah.
To clean a little.
Absolutely.
It even cleaned like when my car was being serviced. I have a light interior and I guess a little grease from somebody's hand, and I did a little dry cleaning fluid. Took it right out.
Perfect.
But
Yeah.
you can buy for solvent cleaning, a little bit of dry cleaning fluid. Don't soak it. Again,
Don't soak
a little
it.
bit on a
Little
cloth,
bit,
blot
go
it,
light.
and it should take it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's a big thing, you need to call a professional cleaner. Like if I have people say, "Oh, my kid dropped a whole thing of grape juice all over the sofa. How can I clean it?" Call a professional cleaner. You don't need to deal
We
with
do.
it.
Don't
We
mess with
also
it.
sell a service too
Yeah.
through
Great.
the store that they will clean for accidental damage.
Oh,
So
that's-
that's always good to add on if you're
And I
just
think-
if you really think that something
Yeah.
will happen.
Why
Especially if
did
you do
we
a light
get?
fabric.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this today in coming here and preparing. It was somewhere along the line we all became so guarded against those add-on things at the end
Yeah.
of your purchase.
Yeah.
Like the
Like they're trying
extended
to get
warranty.
ya.
Right. Like oh gosh, what are they trying to do?
Yeah.
I've got to tell everyone listening,
Yeah.
buy the furniture protection insurance.
It's
It
just
is-
an insurance plan.
That's all it is. And
Yeah.
it is
We
100%.
buy insurance for
always
everything
worth
nowadays.
it.
Your
Why
dogs,
wouldn't
your
you buy
car,
it
your
for-
house,
But
yourself.
I think you've got to
When you're spending that much money,
you're gonna use you're gonna use it more than maybe you're gonna use your. I guess we all use our health insurance and our car insurance,
Yeah.
but we don't want to get in an accident. All that, but you will use it.
Yeah.
And it's totally worth it. It's not expensive.
No, and
No.
for
what
if
it is.
you don't use it, we do offer a refund.
Really?
Like a store
we
credit.
get a
After how
store
long?
Store
credit.
credit.
5 years.
5 years.
No
it's a
kidding.
5-year plan,
Yeah.
and you get a store credit if
And
you
if you
never
never
use it. If you've never filed
So
a
it's a
claim with
no-brainer.
them. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Come by
That's
floral
gotten better
arrangement.
since I
Buy-
sold retail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, they don't spray anymore, which it's because they
Right.
can't do the C6 and the
Exactly.
stuff. So it's not worth it anymore. And I tell people,
Insurance.
you get all the time, oh, I spilled this. How do I clean it? Do you have the warranty? No. Well, here's a vendor that can, can
Yeah.
dry.
And
or
thank goodness we have the
Stanley's
internet.
or-
You can
Yeah.
search. But
Yeah.
life
But
happens.
people just don't think it's like, again, when you have to have expectations and we have to kind of set them as the retailer. But, again, we talked about it earlier, nothing is indestructible.
Yeah.
It's a sofa. Let's be realistic about how we live and how we, and if you want linen and you want silk and you want cotton and you want
Be
it
ready for
white
it.
or cream, then no, you've got to be better at this.
Yeah.
I do know, and I don't think we have it here. You have a great and inside out a linen look.
Oh yeah. Rolo.
Rollo.
Yeah.
Rollo.
Phenomenal.
Oh, yes. My favorite.
Phenomenal.
One of my favorites.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I use it all the time.
Been around.
Use
yeah.
it all the time.
I
That's
recommend it when somebody is going towards that linen route. I'm like, why don't we try this? This
Yeah.
is going to hold up a lot more than a regular linen fabric.
And again, if you love those fabrics, do your sofa in a wonderful body cloth that's cleanable. Do your pillows in cottons and linens. Do your chairs, things that are everybody
getting as
gets
much
on the sofa.
usage.
Do you
Yeah.
ever tell anybody to order an extra 2 yards for them to
Sometimes
keep in
I do,
their
depends on
closet
what
kind
it's
of thing,
for.
like backstock?
Yeah. Well, I do enough to cover a
If they're
cushion.
that worried, right?
Yeah.
Well, they don't think about it too. It's what it kind of, if you do, they say, oh no, I think we'll be fine. And I'm like, this dye lot that we got your sofa out of, it may be totally different the next go round. So you maybe should get, especially if it's a color. Like the whites, off whites, they're pretty good. But the blue or green we've even got sofas in our store that I'll order it as in the fabric that it's shown in, and the manufacturer will come back and say,
There's a
hey,
high-low range.
let me give you a dye lot. Let me make sure you're okay with this, because every
Yeah.
time we get it in, it's just a little different.
slightly
So I've got to
different.
give Valdez Weavers another plug here.
Yeah.
We dye our own yarns.
Yeah.
And so when you come to the mill, which you have to do, you're going to see this whole process to make sure that the dye, the yarn,
Yeah.
is the exact color that it's supposed
Yeah.
to be. And their high-low range is so small.
Yeah, which is
It's
wonderful.
That's
really,
wonderful.
It's,
Yeah.
because we control it all.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is, it's amazing. You've got to come.
We
So excited.
definitely. We keep talking about it, and we're just going to have to do
I know,
it.
Yeah, we
I
just
know.
have to
We
do
have
it.
to
It's
schedule
funny.
it. We have to
It's
schedule-
here.
there's never a
We're
good
so
time.
lucky, and that where we live, and we're so close to so much of the industry.
Yeah.
And we can go whenever we want, and it's just trying to find the time
We have
to go.
You're
Well,
never
you
gonna
gotta
find
make
it.
time.
We've got to
Right,
make it.
gotta
It's like
make time.
working out.
No, we've got to
Let's
do it.
kind of change the topic a little bit. Let's talk. What are you seeing in trends in
Ooh.
fabrics right now?
Hi guys, welcome back. So Tara's going to show us some amazing things in the newest trends in furniture fabrics, especially fabrics. Where do you see the industry going now?
And there's so many. That's what's so hard. And I think if we ever do a podcast at the mill,
Yeah.
you can really see a trend.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't possibly bring all the things that are happening. So the one thing I wanted to talk about, and we know this, and it's just going to continue, is color.
Yeah.
So when we look at this board, look at, again, our amazing designers, the color stories.
Yeah.
Deep, rich colors
Deep,
too.
rich
Which is
colors,
so
and people are
nice.
not afraid of color.
So
No.
nice.
I think we were neutral for so long, and it's
gray.
interesting. It's still selling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go to any showroom or furniture
Oh,
store, still
no
today,
question.
it's going to be primarily creams and beiges and grays.
Grays.
They're good basics. It's a good, to me, it's a
good
great place to
foundation.
build a foundation and kind of just make
Build
it
from there.
dramatic.
Right. And I think we're seeing like fashion first, like furniture always follows what's going on in fashion.
Yeah.
And so these strong, saturated, strong chroma colors and also the color drenching. You're seeing this a lot
Which I love.
I love it on Instagram, on all of all the wonderful social media platforms where the ceiling, the trim, the walls, everything's the same
It's so
color.
dramatic.
And I love it.
So
I love it.
beautiful.
It makes me so happy. And so I would say that's I think what we're going to see, like if we're talking like 10-year trend, like what's happening, color. And you know, it's always been intermixed a little bit. People were like, oh, I can do like the blue and a little bit of green.
Yeah.
But it was still real soft, like the sea glass colors and all that. But now, like back in the 90s, what was the number one color in interiors? Remember? Red.
Red.
Yep. Queensland red.
We
I
had
said
red.
that earlier.
Well, remember, you could go through back in the day, in the 90s especially. I remember going through like some of the neighborhoods in Charlotte at night when I'd walk with my ex-wife, and we'd go through a neighborhood and we'd be like, red living room, yellow dining room, red living room. Yeah, it was everywhere.
Absolutely. So color. I think we're going to continue to see color. And what the other trend that has been happening slowly is pattern on sofas.
Yeah.
So again, we've been neutral for so long. It's still like, you know, I think you guys are probably still, you're not getting people coming in and asking for it, but
surprisingly,
are they?
it's starting to happen
On sofas?
and pattern.
Chairs a little bit.
Oh, chairs,
Well,
yes.
chairs definitely.
Chairs, we
Sofas,
definitely.
I'm starting to see a little bit of it. I think that people have a hard time thinking about, especially if the rug like pattern on pattern, and that's where our job, like we talk about
Show them the
scale
difference,
and
yes.
proportion and how you can mix little patterns with large patterns, and it won't. Just like with suiting, like you remember in men's suiting with all the plaid shirts and dotted ties and stripes, and you could mix it all, but the scales had to be correct. You couldn't just like throw on this size. Like I tell people all the time, like if this is your rug, your sofa pattern can't be the same size as your rug. It's got to be a little smaller pattern. You can mix them, but
If you do a smaller pattern on your
unless
sofa,
you
then
do
a bigger pattern on your rug.
Unless this is your sofa, this is your
Absolutely.
wallpaper, this is your rug, and it's all. Then to do the whole thing would be cool. But
And I love the layers. I
Yeah.
love the
Love it.
layers.
Love it,
Layering
love it,
is
love
the
it.
best.
Celery Kimball? Do you know?
Oh, yeah.
So she's this amazing designer out of New
I
York.
remember from the Henredon days.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Do you remember back in the old days?
And I've got to tell you, she is so wonderful to work with. She is so smart and so down to earth. Like you kind of wonder, like these big designers, like, well, no, she is lovely. And her mom was a designer also in Florida, so they kind of have that. They have a Palm Beach thing going, but then Celery. And I was always so amazed when Celery would pull like. Her real name's Cecilia, by the way. People are always like, Celery, that's her real name. Her real name's Cecilia. She probably hates I'm saying this. And so she goes by Celery. But she would pull these different patterns together, even like with what you're saying, like scale and proportion. But literally, she would pull things together and I'd be like, I
Don't see it.
I can't. I don't see it.
Yeah.
But this is why we have you here.
Yeah.
And then when it's
You
done,
have to trust the process.
Yeah.
oh my
Trust the process.
goodness, it's
We know
so
what we're doing.
Acquired.
Let us do it.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing. We don't want our homes to look like the show house,
cutter.
cookie
Yeah.
cutter,
Yeah,
or like a
that's-
model. How
yeah.
about that?
No,
Like
yeah.
when someone tells me like, "Oh, your house looks so nice. It looks like a model." I'm like, "Oh no,
that's not a good
Like I
thing.
think that's a bad
Yeah.
thing. Like I want it to look acquired, and
Yes.
sophisticated, and
and that's
Like it's
what's-
been designed
Exactly.
and not
Right.
just put together.
like Granimals.
I was
I'm
going to
dating-
say,
oh,
I was getting ready to say
oh,
Granimals,
sorry.
Granimals furniture
we're
stores.
dating ourselves.
I
We're
know.
dating ourselves
You
on
probably don't know
Granimals.
what that is.
No,
but-
well, I
you know-
used
do
to
you
have the
know the reference?
Granimals. Yes, I
It
do
was
because
J.C. Penney, the purple.
So for those who don't know,
I used to
the
wear
hippo with the purple
Granimals
hippo.
when I was an infant.
they were
so.
little tags that would hang. This piece would go with
love
this piece,
that.
and that piece would go
They
with
need
that
to
piece.
bring that back.
Well, yeah, they did in furniture stores. There's a lot of them that do it that way.
Well, I meant like for like at Target. Target should bring back Granimals. Okay.
But I'm with you though. I think it's kind of fun. That's why people need designers in their lives.
Absolutely.
Because when you go to a showroom and you just buy what you see, there's
Everybody
why?
in the same area is going to
Yeah.
have something similar. Hiring a designer, they're kind of stepping outside the box. They know of furniture,
what they do.
fabrics, and
And this
stuff
is how
that are
you
going
get
to
these.
elevate your style.
These
So,
rooms
yeah.
don't just happen. They're
No.
created.
Look at
They're
and by
created.
people that this is what they do.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is their job. You're going to
Yeah.
hire an electrician. You're going to hire a plumber. You're hiring a landscape. Like this is.
Yep.
You just do it. And it's the right way to do it. And to be smart with your money. These are
Yeah.
big purchases. It's expensive. You
Yeah.
want to work with somebody that knows what's happening.
You don't want to buy something and regret it 6 months to a year down the road. This is something you're going to live with for probably 5, 10, 15 years.
And buy good pieces.
Yeah.
Buy good
pieces.
Buy the best that your budget allows you to.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. And then if you buy a really good piece and want to put something crazy on it for 4 or 5 years, you can recover it. You don't have to throw it away because the foundation is wonderful. You can recover it. That's what I try to tell people all day long. They're like, why is this sofa so much more expensive than the one I saw at X brand? And I'm like, because these manufacturers like Hickory Chair and Century and Taylor King and Vanguard and Hancock and more build great frames that are reusable and not disposable.
And I want to take it can we talk cushioning for a second?
Yes.
We're all over the place. So if you look at a spreadsheet of everything that goes into the cost of a sofa.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's all broken down. Obviously, the biggest number is going to be the fabric or the leather that's on it. The next biggest number on that spreadsheet is your cushioning.
Yes.
Your sofa or your seat cushion, your back cushion. And that's the number one place that a less expensive sofa is going to cut corners.
Correct.
Because they're trying to hit a price point. We're not saying that they're bad.
No.
I want to make sure I'm not.
But you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The longevity is not going to be there.
And so maybe the frame, you're going to be fine. Maybe the springs, you're going to be fine, but your cushions. And remember, the average person is only buying upholstery once every 7 years.
Yeah.
They don't know what they don't know.
Right.
So when you are out there shopping, sit in everything. I don't care.
First thing I tell customers when they
You
walk
have
through the
to.
door, I'm looking for a sectional, I'm looking for a sofa. Sit in
And don't just
everything.
And here's the other thing that I always think is so funny. Like they come and they sit. Like they're
For
in
2
a waiting
seconds.
well, and like they're at a waiting room.
Yeah.
No. Sit on it like you would in your home.
Yeah.
Lay down. Be here.
Take your shoes off, kick your feet up,
I don't
lay
care
down.
if you're here for a half hour trying to take a nap.
Exactly.
We don't, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
wouldn't care at all.
No.
We want you to test drive your furniture. For me, the biggest part on a higher end sofa and more of a mid price is how it sits and also how it's tailored.
Yes.
Correct.
You can spot an inexpensive piece of furniture
That's what you pay for.
10, 15 feet away, just like that.
Yeah.
And are they flipping their cushions? But even if you flip cushions on an inexpensive sofa, those
It's only on
cushions are
one
going to break
side.
down
Well,
in no time.
some of them are only on one
They
side.
only have the
And-
crown on
well,
one side.
It shocks me when people come in and go, "Oh, you can flip the cushions." I'm like,
You're supposed to.
Where are you buying furniture that you
Well,
don't flip the cushions?
Some don't. Well,
Yeah.
leather you can't.
No, I know that, but leather's a whole different animal.
That's a whole
like,
different. That's a whole different podcast.
literally different animal.
Yeah, literally funny. And so, sorry, we got sidetracked on
No,
that.
sorry. So but that's what I think people need to know. That and how do we get here to the pattern? And
Okay, yeah.
Like, what are you seeing pattern wise? That's exciting.
Oh gosh, pattern. Okay, so again, the pendulum is always swinging back, and so I'm gonna say it: flame stitch. Did I whisper it? Flame stitch.
Yeah, flame stitch. Oh,
flame
yeah.
stitch. So, but you're going to see modified versions of it.
Well, we've seen some
we have
already.
seen
We've
some.
seen some.
We've
and,
seen some,
and
but-
they do. They're not that
They're not-
70s, 80s flame stitch.
No.
But okay, but go back though. If it's a cool retro,
Yeah,
70s,
that's true. That's true.
you
Well,
know,
this has
then there
kind
have
of
been
got a
some
little bit of a
yeah.
retro vibe.
And
Just
so-
recolorized, so it's a new version.
That's the key. That is the key. So, earlier we were kind of talking about like how do fabrics even come into being. So, this is artwork that we purchase. So there's a whole nother world to like how do fabrics come into being. So Valdez Weavers, they purchase old documents. They purchase direct art from artists.
Yeah.
Oops,
Yeah.
this is the wrong way. Sorry. I don't know if it matters, but we'll pretend it does.
Yes.
Yes, it does. Because they're
No,
that
they're going
way.
both ways. I think you're good.
So we're good. Okay. So this is where it starts from. It starts from artwork. And again, our designers are watching all the trends. So again, patterns. So we know a pattern like this, it does have some 70s vibe in it.
Most definitely.
But it has a lot of traditional also. So
Yes.
a trend, I think, is definitely traditional. And I feel like we've been saying this for decades, like, what's the new traditional? But again, I think the new traditional right now, I would define as patterns.
Yeah.
Exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Pattern on pattern on pattern.
Yeah.
And so
A lot of wool lately too.
Oh my gosh,
Lots
the
of wool,
wools are always
which I
so
love the
beautiful.
plaids and the checks
yes,
and they're
wool
beautiful.
takes the dye so well.
Yeah.
So pretty.
Exactly.
And he's been doing a lot of work out west, and
Yeah, so
that's
it's
kind
you
of a
get on
Yeah,
that.
more
we've
of
been
a
doing a
design
lot of it.
aesthetic out
Up
there.
north,
So
I know
yeah.
Florida's not big on the wools.
No.
No, well, it's 9,000 degrees. So, but out west, at least you get a little snow and cold in the desert.
Yeah.
and
so
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
So patterns, yes, I think, and we're also seeing some little like mini. We used to
Yeah.
call them ditzy dots.
Oh, yes.
So we're seeing some of that. I brought a fabric.
Well, and animals prints, which I keep trying to tell people.
Classic. They never
Classic.
Go out.
People always
Yeah.
like, oh, it's a leopard. That's going to go out of style. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Animal prints never, ever go out.
go out. I think
and
you're
they're
gonna see
neutral. They go with anything.
everything. And they're all different kinds. If it's a print, if it's a woven, the
Yeah,
colors, how
exactly.
heavy is it, how light it is. So, like something like this, this can go transitional. Obviously, it's more transitional. So you're seeing still some of that, but this scale, maybe not so much as pattern,
Some
but this
great
scale,
colors.
It's
Yeah.
wonderful. Yeah, that's the color line that they ended up with. Ooh, because you said that, I want to show you this. So when they're designing the fabrics, they start with all different types of yarns. So let's go here.
Yeah.
So these are what we call yarn tabs. And so it's all the
Very
same
cool.
type of yarn, but they're all dyed different colors. And so this is going to be big. I'm going to hand you half of it and we'll pull it across. I don't know how much is this, if this will even show up. But so this is what we call a blanket. So when product development, when our design department was putting this together, they put it through a specific loom that has different warps, and you'll see this when you come.
Yeah.
You'll see how this is a dark warp,
Yep.
and this is a lighter warp in the gray, and then they mix in all these different yarn tabs to see what combinations, because with this you've got the layers.
Yes.
It's not like a print where it's just a solid color. So how these things weave together and the colors it creates. So this is pretty amazing. So this is what we call a blanket in our product development. And so from this and more, they end up selecting these colors in the sense
best of
what
the
do we
best.
what do we think is going to sell, which I just think is such a neat
Yeah.
process. So I think another trend, we're seeing more things with textures, chunky
Yeah.
textures, which has been happening
We
for a while.
talked about that
But you're going to
last
see
episode.
more of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, some of it's like really fun, and then there's some of it I look like I'm like, okay, that
little
traumatized me as a child. Like
Yeah.
I don't need to
There's
see
some
it
kind
now.
of crazy, but
Yeah.
it's fun. There's
Yeah.
so many trends.
Well, and I think people need to start like for a while there. Like we were talking earlier, it was just that gray, beige, clean, simple, and then everything became almost cookie cutter, and it's really fun
masses.
But this makes your house makes it individual. Like it gives you life. I mean, people come into my house, they're like, how do you have that many patterns and layers and things and it looks styled? And I'm like, no, this is how I live. Like, this is me. If I don't mind stuff and I love mixing color and I love, like, I have some good basics, but then printed chairs and patterned rug and patterned pillows and artwork and mix it all together. People get afraid too of mixing art and stuff in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, but this art doesn't match my rug. So
No, it just
So it
good
shouldn't.
design.
When I hear
it can
somebody
all-
say, "Oh, well, my art matches my pillows, matches my rug, matches my," like, where did you go to Garanimals and get
and
your
this is what
room?
And
Like-
sometimes, like, okay, so Barbara Streisand used to have, like, in her one area. Did you remember? Like, she had 4 different types of houses. I would love that.
Yeah.
Like, I would love an all neutral, transitional, big window, a little bit more contemporary, but
Yeah.
warm. I would love that house. And then I also want a house that Celery Kimball would do,
Yeah.
where it's pattern on pattern and it's all acquired and it's all.
Yeah.
And then I would love, like, okay, give me some leather and give me some wool.
Yeah.
And like
Do like a mountain house or
Exactly.
something,
Mountain
so like a
vibe or a-
Midwestern home.
and
or
this
something
is
like
the
that.
great
Yeah.
thing with going to, a designer or
Yeah.
a large retailer is to
But you
see
can mix it.
all the different things that you can do. So
Yeah.
it really is your personality, whatever you want
Yeah.
your home to be.
So show us some more fabrics. What else? Have
Well,
we-
actually, why don't we go to
Should
the
the
autograph fabric?
So this is
and you
something
can
you
explain
guys-
the
you-
autograph
yeah,
since
this is
that's
just a
something
wonderful
that
idea.
we're working with
This
you
is
on.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So,
These are amazing.
So this was this amazing, like, our furniture industry, as anybody listening or anybody's been shopping, it's not real easy sometimes. And you can go to a big store and you can, oh, I love this sofa, but I like that fabric over there. And they're from different companies. And so, yes, you could buy the yardage from that company and send it to the other company to put it on the sofa. But usually that costs more money.
Yeah.
And so we're always, all of us in our industry, we're trying to figure out how can we make the buying experience more pleasant and easier for the end user and for the retail designers and salespeople. And so wouldn't it be great if there was a universal set of fabrics that could be used on anything in the store? And so instead of looking at 5 walls of fabrics, you're just looking at 12 linear feet right here of fabrics. And so this is what we did. So Valdez Weavers came up with, it's called the Autograph Program, or that's what we call it. Different people call it different things if they want to put their name on it. So we call it the Autograph Program, and it consists of 196 fabrics, and they're all performance fabrics. And within the performance fabrics, which we talked about earlier, there's different types of performance fabrics. Like we have the InsideOut, which we love and kind of does everything. And then we have Sustain, and then we have Ease. Like Sustain doesn't have the C0. So let's say you're a little bit more sensitive to outgassing or something like that. Not that I think the C0 even outgasses.
No,
so,
I think it's
but
pretty
I
clean.
think some people are kind of
still timid with it.
right.
Yeah.
Or who knows what. But even within it, they're all performance fabric. They're all going to help you live with it a little bit easier. And so what's great about this is there's all different types of fabrics in the sense of there's some chunky wovens, there's some linen looks. We even have performance velvets in here, and they're all in stock at our mill.
Yeah.
And so, and it can go on anything on your floor. And so we love this.
The accessibility is so key because
so easy.
We're
as
like,
we know,
20 or 30 manufacturers in our company alone that can use these interchangeably with, which is phenomenal.
We have 60 manufacturers that are a part of this program.
Yeah.
And so that's what I mean, like almost everyone on your floor.
Yeah.
And so what's great, so let's say they select this fabric and they love it. They go home and they're going to, you've picked a sofa, let's say it's brand X.
Yeah.
And they go home and they've got their fabric sample and they show it to their neighbor and they're like, oh, it's a brand X sofa. And that neighbor's like, oh, I had a brand X sofa. I hated it. You can't buy a brand X sofa. And so now your client is all worried about brand X sofa.
Yeah.
And so what's nice now, you can come in and they can select a brand Z sofa, but your fabric can still be the same.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about it.
Which has been a nightmare before because brand
Then you
X
have
may
to-
have it, brand Z may not have the same fabric.
Right. And so then you have to start all over.
Yeah.
And so we love it. So with the exceptions of the velvets, because we don't make velvets, those come from South Korea, wonderful mill over there. With the exception of the velvets, everything we weave here in Valdez, and they're all performance and they're all in stock. And it just makes it easy. So this has been great. And this is what I've been going around the country.
We've only had it,
doing.
a month, maybe?
Yeah.
Month and a half. And I'm already using it like crazy because it's,
Thank you.
It's just great base cloth.
Yeah.
There's so many good options.
Right. And then you're going to find your pillow fabrics
Yeah.
from whomever.
Always.
yeah,
But,
and,
Always.
but
this
you
is
do
where we
have some
stayed.
good prints too within these too.
Some
Well,
great
and even though
wovens
it's a plain, it's not
Yeah.
a plain.
Yeah,
It's,
this
right.
is a plane, but it's not a plane.
Yeah, the weave is giving it a pattern.
It has
So,
some visual
yeah.
activity with it still being a plane
Yeah,
from
it's
far
just
away.
they're just wonderful fabrics.
Which this is great because a lot of the companies we work with do get their fabrics from overseas, and when they're out of stock, there's a little bit of a waiting period where you all
nobody
create
wants to
these
wait.
fabrics.
Right.
You don't have to wait.
Well, it's already 8 to 10 weeks to have it made anyway. And then when
Yeah.
you tell them, oh, your fabric's not going to be for another 8 weeks, then you're looking at 4 months, 5 months.
Exactly. And there's always this thing in our industry of like, oh, the mill doesn't have it.
Yeah.
The mill has to weave it. Like this
Yeah.
mysterious mill.
Yeah.
Who are
Yeah.
they? And this is what's so great with us. We're right here. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
hey, we're
Once
you know,
it's done.
we need this fabric. Like let's say
Yeah.
we get a big order for, and it takes all of our yardage out of stock. Hopefully our stock level's high enough, but let's say it's not. And so boom. Okay.
Yeah.
They put in a rush order for fabric. We got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
No, it's just, it's
it's
amazing.
amazing.
We're really excited.
We're really excited,
I'm
too.
glad. And you guys were wonderful. The owner of your company, as you know, Kevin, he's
been in the industry forever, so he
he's
knows.
so smart.
Yeah.
He knows.
And he was, when he heard about this, well, and of course your buyer, your manager, you know, like your owners,
Yeah.
like everybody, our industry loves this program.
Yeah.
Well,
It
it's
makes it
nice to
easier.
make, I mean, you know, people think it's so easy that we carry so many different manufacturers. Everybody has their own fabrics, their own finishes, their own everything. And it's nice to have something that we know I can go touch this and this helps make it a little easier sometimes to have something that I know I can carry from vendor to vendor to vendor.
Yeah.
Like, you may have a sofa there or a chair over there, and this coordinates really well. And the way your fabrics are laid out, the color palette, things blend really well. So you could take a solid and a stripe and a check or a little woven from the
Absolutely.
group and put it, and it makes your life easier.
And, again, going back to our design team, the amount of time that they spend on color study
Yes.
and trends and what's working this is what they do.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I think the other thing about Autograph, what I like about this, and this is different for our industry, I think, with the exception of Sunbrella. Sunbrella's done a really good job,
Yeah.
marketing, and we know it, but they are more outdoor.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
they
do-
have some that aren't.
They do
but,
some great indoors too, but they still
Right.
have a feel.
Yeah.
So the thing that I like about you, about Autograph, is that you start to get this relationship with us, with the mill,
Yeah.
and knowing that we're in the U.S.
Yeah.
and that we're a phone call away or a drive away, and it's
And I'm not waiting 8 months to get it.
right. Our whole industry, we're so small, as I said earlier, that it's all about relationships.
Yeah.
It's all like our reputation, who we know, and it's all relationships. So now when you're pulling one of these fabrics,
Yeah.
you have a face, you have an emotion attached to it. And we love
and
that.
and it's the American made story, which everybody loves.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wonderful to have things made here. We know everything can't be done here. We can't do it.
Right.
But
No.
it's nice
The
to
world is
have
small.
something made here and again, it's letting people realize that these industries aren't gone. They're still here.
Yeah.
Alive
But,
and well.
and we have to support them for them to remain here.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we love that you are. So thank you.
No,
very
it's
much.
right. It's
Well,
wonderful to
this-
say we have a North Carolina story.
Has been such a great discussion. Thank you for
talked about
all
a lot.
your info.
We have, but you're so easy.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys are
So
awesome.
much fun to
Thank
talk
you.
to.
So wonderful.
Thank you.
for coming in with us today. And thank you all for listening.
Yes,
We'll
thank
be
you.
back with another episode very soon. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.